Welcome to Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. In this series, I will be tasked with defeating every villain in order, progressing from the core set to the latest release. The catch? I'm only allowed to use cards released up until that point. After defeating the villain, they each will be ranked in terms of their difficulty, determined by the cards available at the time. Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes of Marvel Rewind. What's going on, guys? It's Char here, back with another episode of Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. Now, in today's episode, we have, moving on to the second scenario in the Mutant Genesis expansion box, we have Project Wideawake, aka the Sentinel, going up against none other than the phase-shifting mutant herself, Shadowcat. Let's get down to the table and see how it goes. What's going on, guys? It's Char in post now. This is a game that I just did and just recorded and realized the audio was off the entire time. So this is going to be a very special episode of Marvel Rewind where we're doing a post commentary. I thought this was a really great game. I was going to the review to make sure there was no like huge mistakes, right? And yeah, so here we are. This is the game. This is, the attempt. This is the recording, and as you can see, I will play it. There is no audio on it at all. I mean, you look here, I can mute it, and yep, there's nothing. So this is going to be kind of unhinged. There's probably going to be some speed ups, but I'm going to essentially go through the play-by-play of the game after playing the game. I've never done a post commentary. It's a bit weird, but we'll do it. So as I always do with the beginning sections, and you'll see my hands moving around the screen, it's going to be a bit weird. I'm explaining the Sentinel villain here. So we're down at the table with Sentinel. It's so weird because I already explained it, but I have to go through it again. So if we look at his main scheme, it's Sentinel 2 and 3 because we're on expert right. And the modular sets are Project Wideawake, Zero Tolerance, the standard sets, and Sentinels. So I'm explaining probably playing Shadowcat here, but I'll continue with the villain setup. So we have the Sentinels here. He starts with Toughness, Steady, and 18 hit points. When revealed, the first player searches the encounter deck and deals card pile for a copy of Abduction Protocol side scheme and reveals it. Deal each other player a face down encounter card. So in solo, we just start with Abduction Protocols. It's a threat side scheme that comes in with 2 per player threat, 2 threat, and then hinder 2 per player, so it goes up to 4 in solo. When defeated, it has a crisis icon. We can get one of the captive allies set aside and put it into play under our control. Also, Mutants at the Mall starts in play, and so does Operation Zero Tolerance due to the setup ability on the main scheme. Mutants at the Mall gives us an extra acceleration icon. The first player, when defeated, the first player searches the encounter deck for a Sentinel minion and reveals it. Then you flip this card and put Jubilee into play, and discarding any other versions of her. Operation Zero Tolerance gains permanent in the scheme. And basically what it does, it says after an enemy attacks and defeats an ally, you place that ally face down under this scheme. If there are X face down cards on this scheme where X is 3 more than the amount of players, we lose the game. Essentially, if there's ever 4 cards underneath that scheme in solo specifically, we lose the game instantly. I'm going through the mod set here, and then I'm talking about, I think I already spoke about it, but Shadowcat I thought was really good for this scenario because Sentinel asks a lot of answers from you. We need a hero that has really good and efficient tempo cards, a hero that can mitigate a ton of damage, which you will see why when I flip this over to the main scheme side, and she can do all of that. The reason why we need someone who can mitigate a lot of damage, and again we will see these, sorry for the pausing, the Knight of the Sentinel starts with 1 per player threat and goes up 1 per player per turn, and it has a force response. After threat is placed here, if there's at least 5 per player threat on it, what it does is it removes it tucks the top card of your deck face down underneath Operation Zero Tolerance, and it removes 5 per player threat. Now, the really big key thing there is that you actually can't modulate this 5 per player threat at all, since it's not actually on the main scheme. It's not listed here as a number. It's in the force response text. a card like Under Surveillance does not affect this, meaning we are playing a solo game where our threat threshold is 5 the entire game, and the villain we're facing has a base scheme set of 2. It makes it really hard and really almost impossible to flip down in this scenario, because Operation Zero Tolerance, it will just take cards from your deck, put it under Operation Zero Tolerance, and you will just lose the game really, really quickly. But I think we'll go ahead and skip through this because I've kind of explained everything there is to say about Sentinel here. So we have our deck, we have it shuffled up, and I will be using the speed up commands here to kind of speed it up here. So we're going to look at our starting hand real quick. So we had Ready to Rumble, Phase and Confuse, Power Protection, Colossus, Quick Shift, and a double here. So I think when I looked at this hand, I'm like, Quick Shift is really good. And if we're explaining what, you know, I didn't really explain what Shadowcat does. She has this solid and phase mass form. On the solid side, it's a resource generator for attack and defense events. And as a response, whenever you attack or defend, you can choose to flip it over to her phased side. The phase side says when she's defending, she cannot take damage at all, as long as you are defending an attack. But as a forced response, which is important, you can, whenever you attack or defend, you have to flip back over to solid. So Quick Shift is a super good card when we're taking an activation, but for a setup turn against Sentinel, it's not great. I think I end up mulliganing Quick Shift here. Phase and Confuse also isn't super good against Sentinel. It does blank one attack activation and then it confuses an enemy, but because he has steady, it's not super important. I think we just mulligan 2 here if I remember correctly, and then we keep the rest. But the idea is like maybe we got some like weird things going that I could get down the Ready to Rumble. Because she's a form changing hero, it's kind of like a limitless stamina that we can save up. So we do end up mulliganing 2 and we get Airwalk and Powerful Punch. Powerful Punch does come up here. It is a really complex ruling with Shadowcat. A lot of her complexity comes from the sequencing you do with her. Yeah, so we end up flipping up here, and I think I'm just, you know, explaining. Obviously, my first time playing the game, watching it back is just surreal, right? So we're just explaining here. I end up setting 3 resources for Colossus. Colossus's cost is reduced by 1 because we have the Mutant or X-Men trait. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then I'm trying to like sequence here. Do I want to keep this double in hand? I'm like, yeah, I probably want to keep the green double in my hand. So I go ahead and attack first. So when I attack, I deal 2 damage, break the tough. Then I go to phased form because I have a choice after I attack or defend to flip. That lets me, then I play Colossus, which is kind of weird sequencing. I don't know why I did that. We play him, but then we instantly break his tough here, do 3 damage to the Sentinel. And then we spend 1 resource for an Airwalk, which removes 2 threat from a scheme, or 4 if we're in phase form, which we are because of our attack earlier. We go ahead and clear Abduction Protocols. It goes in the victory display. We get one of these random allies. Of course, I roll a dice to see which one. 3, and we got Wolfsbane. Kind of unfortunate here because like the piercing would have been nice for the tough, but we go ahead and hit 2 more on the Sentinel here, and then we do a consequential and we ready up. Colossus has no damage because, you know, he what's it called? He had a tough status when he comes in. So I'm explaining Powerful Punch here probably, but again, this will be a lot faster than normally is. We put 2 threat on the main. Step 1 is 1, and then 1 from the acceleration. We're exhausting to defend here because we're in phase. We don't want to take any damage because we can't flip down. I don't know what boost card that was, but we take 0 damage anyways because we're phased. We're forced to flip back over into solid mode. Now we're looking here. We have Warn the Others as our encounter card. This is the card that's super, super nasty. So it's an obligation that says Forced Response. After your turn ends, place this card underneath Operation Zero Tolerance, but as an alter ego action, you can exhaust your identity to discard this card. The problem with it is we don't have mutants at the mall cleared, so even if we zero out the main down to 0, it's going to go up to 2 on phase 1 of the villain phase. Then Sentinel schemes with a base of 2, so we have to hit a 0 boost, or he's just going to tuck a card from the top of our deck underneath anyways. So what I end up doing is like, well, I'm already exhausted, so I couldn't remove this even if I wanted to. But even if I did want to, there's no point because I'd rather him tuck that card than a card from my deck that I'd actually want to play. So I'm kind of reading through some cards here. My hand is like not great. It's like one of her upgrade superpowers. It's phase strike, but it doesn't have any attachments. So I'm like, yeah, we're just going to develop the Nick Fury here. And we're going to draw 3 cards because that just made the most sense to me. So now we're looking at Lockheed, Haymaker, and Professor X. Playing the Professor X would have been really nice, but also give a ton of ally slots. So it's not great. I think we just end up to elect to play the Haymaker here so we can change into phased because it is an attack. It's also really good. I really love the Haymaker inclusion. I'll probably talk about it in the deck list, but Having a really cheap attack event when we're exhausted from defending really lets us control getting into phased and consistently be in phased form when it comes for the villain to take 0 damage. It was really, really good. So I'm probably thinking this through here, shuffling my hand as I always do. It's so weird seeing like my own habits, watching them back. So we're going to exhaust this and spend a resource to play a Haymaker. Because it's an attack event, we're going to deal 3 damage to an enemy. We're bringing Sentinel down to 10. We're triggering our response here to go phased. Then we're just going to, I think we just swing out, right? 5 more damage, 10 down to, 5 health on Sentinel, and then Nick Fury's going to go ahead and thwart for 2 just to keep the main in check. We don't want to tuck more cards than we have to. Keeping Professor X in hand, readying up, and also that gets tucked because we end our turn here. So, yeah. Drawing back up 5 cards. We have like Nightcrawler. Shadowcat Surprise is an amazing card. I probably end up playing it. Polaris, What Doesn't Kill Me, and Professor X. I think I kept the Professor X for kind of no reason here. So we do defend this attack. We're in phase, so we take 0 damage. We do have a boost effect here where targeted for elimination is attached to my identity. It gets dealt to that player as a face-down encounter card. We don't actually have that card, so we just ignore that. And now we get hit with our obligation, which is really rough here, permanently phased. This is really bad. So if you guys don't know what this does, we flip our mass form upgrade to phase. I actually forgot to flip it back to... I'm going to catch mistakes here, but I'm trying not to make a huge deal out of them. Again, this was a really great game, and if there's one difference in attack or thwarting, it probably did change the outcome of this game, but I thought it was really good to just talk through it anyways. We're staring at permanently phased here. Really, really bad. We are stuck in our phase form now. We can't attack, defend, or change form. Brutal obligation. But as an alter ego action, we can exhaust our identity and it gets removed from the game. Okay, that's fine. Problem is, we are exhausted right now. So I kind of lied a bit like 5 seconds ago. The Professor X is super good here because it gives us something to do with our turn. We forgot to make Nick Fury leave play. It's not a huge deal here. But yeah, we have to flip down this turn. Not being able to attack, defend, or change forms, I essentially can't do anything with my hero. I spend 3 resources here to play the Professor X. We use his ability to ready an X-Men, which we are an X-Men in hero form, so that we could just essentially do stuff this turn. We're going to have Professor X. I think he probably takes care of. I'm debating here whether I want to flip Sentinel or not. I think it's a good idea because he just gets 1 extra scheme, and our idea is to avoid advance and not flip down anyways, so it's just better to get some damage on his later forms, I think. I'm just kind of debating what do I want to do with my allies. We're going to have Professor X clear out the main here just in case he don't tuck a card. Both of these allies are going to be defeated by Consequential, dealing 5 damage. That's going to end up flipping Sentinel to stage 3, comes in with 22 health and a tough, and it reveals another copy of Abduction Protocols that comes in with 4 per player, 2 threat and then hinder 2 per player. So hope you guys are following so far. I know this can be a bit fast and I talk fast, but and the video is also sped up, but I thought it would be really tough because the difference between me doing this post commentary and normal Marvel Rewind is that I think the charm of Marvel Rewind is kind of thinking through my actions as I'm talking. This, I'm just kind of remembering what I was doing, so it's a bit of a different experience. I hope you guys enjoy it regardless. So we're looking at our hand here. We drew into like a Death Focus, a Phase Shift, whatnot. We're flipped down, so there's not a ton we can do. He schemed for the base of 2, and then Sentinel comes in here. So this goes up to 5, and so this one has a boost effect to put Sentinel Mark 3 in a play with you. So this is like kind of that checkmate. This would be a reason not to flip him. It goes up 2 per turn because I haven't cleared mutants at the mall. And then he schemed the boost of 0 technically, and it still pops. So he's going to tuck one of our cards here. And it's really brutal. We got the Sentinel as a boost effect to put him in play with us. Really, really rough stuff here. And he schemes for 2 more, so I went ahead and added that, and then Sentinel removes 2 threat. Then we got this Sentinel Mark 3 here who comes in with toughness, and he has a when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Energy Barrier Attachment and attach it to him. So I went ahead and got one from the discard pile. What this attachment does is it just gets attached to him. He gets +2 attack. After he attacks, he gets a tough status. So that does end up mattering, I think, a little bit here. So I'm like, man, this is really rough. I have a crisis icon on the board. I haven't removed Professor X for some reason. I did that with Nick Fury last round too. But, I'm kind of planning out my turn here. Shadowcat Surprise is super good. We are stuck in phased right now, but I think I end up remembering that I can just kind of flip my identity. Yeah, I use my phase control action here that I can flip my mass form whenever. So I flip back up here. We're back in business. We have 6 cards in our hands. We got to make use of it. We play on a Death Focus. Super good. Shadowcat has a ton of superpowers. Really gives us good stuff going. We go ahead and thwart for 2 here. We exhaust this and our identity to play the Shadowcat Surprise. We're able to deal 3 damage. We do it to the Sentinel to ready us back up. And then we're going to go ahead and we opt to go phase here because I don't think we had any other way to get into it this turn. We're shuffling up the minions, or sorry, the allies here, so we get the last one, which is Boom Boom. So Boom Boom comes into play, and we're in phase here. And did I not ready up my identity here? Did I forget? Oh, that's like no shot I forgot this, right? Because that might make up for some of the other things that happen later. Oh, I didn't even ready. Oh wow, this is way, yeah, no, I didn't ready here, right? Oh no, did I? Okay, no, I did. I'm crazy. Okay, yes, I flipped up, I thwarted for 2, right. Okay, then I dealt 3 damage, readied up, went phased, and then, okay, right. Cool, that's fine. Okay, I was like, did I really not ready here? No, I mean, like, even watching this back, I didn't even realize I readied. So we're going phase, and then we thwarted 2 more. Yeah, and then we got Boom Boom, who's able to knock out the Sentinel. And this is a really, not to, spoil the video or anything, but this is pretty cool coming up. Boom Boom, what she does is she places bomb counters on enemies. At the end of the player phase, they explode and deal 2 damage. We're not even going to give him the bomb counter. We just need to knock him out to reduce the amount of damage we're taking. We use a double to play down Indomitable because it's pretty important just to have a little bit of thing. And we keep the quick shift in hand, which is a really strong card here. So the main scheme's going to go up by 2 more. We're just hoping not to get another card underneath it. Then he's going to go in and attack us. We're going to play Quick Shift, which because we're phased, it draws us 2 cards and makes us the defender, which is really good. So we draw into these couple cards here. So he's going to hit us with 5 damage here because of the exhaustion. We take 0 because we're phased, and it forces us to flip over. But now we have 5 damage to deal with from the Sentinel Mark III with a tough. This is a ton of damage coming in. This is where the coolest kind of interaction with Shadowcat comes in with her Powerful Punch interaction. So when we look at the card Powerful Punch, what it says is it is attack and defense traded, and it initiates when the enemy attacks. So when the enemy attacks is before they even start and like resolve the attack. So this says when an enemy initiates an attack, we deal 4 damage to that enemy. So we exhaust our solid form here to pay for it, and we spend 1 card from hand. So we're dealing 4 damage to the Sentinel. That's going to go off, deal the 4, break the tough. When that attack resolves, we have the response window on our solid form to flip over to phased. Because the Powerful Punch has the both attack and defense keyword, we are now defending and in phase form, meaning when this Sentinel hits us for 5 damage, we take 0. Super cool, super fun, and Powerful Punch is awesome with her. It's just really cool, and I spent a lot of time trying to go over Shadowcat rulings. I'm sure if that's not 100% correct, that is something I saw that's the most recent, and because we defended, we have to flip back to solid form after the completion of this attack. We have 1 encounter card to deal with here, which is his Learning AI. Brutal card here. He gains Retaliate 1. We have to spend 3 mental resources to remove it, but that's going to be that. Then it's back to us here. So we have someone here with 3 hit points left and a tough. I don't realize, though, I didn't read his energy barrier, that he's supposed to get a tough back after he attacks. So I think I do remember it eventually. Yes, I do, which is pretty important to how this turn plays out. So I'm kind of looking through my hand real quick, seeing what I can play. I got 4 cards, which isn't nothing. So we're going to have Boom Boom go ahead and swing onto him just to break the tough and give a counter. I don't know why she's readied right now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, fix that up. Of course, if I see a mistake, I'm not going to, shy away from it. But it's definitely probably more likely than not. So there's 1 counter, and then I think I opt to thwart for 2 because, like, yeah, we can't let this pop. And I'm thinking about what I do with my turn here. I do a Haymaker for 3 damage, and I'm like, oh, wait, I don't really need a counter on him. He only has 3 health anyways. Yeah, and then I flip, what's it called? I flip his form here. Oh yeah, I readied up. Okay, so what I did there is I readied up preemptively. I did the Haymaker to deal the 3 damage to knock him out. Then what happened was I was like, okay, I want to use my response to flip to phased here, and then I had everything readied up. That just looked really weird watching it back. So this is gonna go up again by 2 because I haven't cleared this acceleration icon. We exhaust the defend because we're phased, so we take 0 damage. We will flip back, and we'll ready off Indomitable, and we'll switch back into solid. He's gonna scheme here, which is super rough here. Goes up by what is it? 4. And I think I do forget a threat here. I forgot he has an extra threat. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, I did forget a threat here, which probably ends up mattering. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but it is what it is. I forgot that the Learning AI gives him an extra thwart. So he should probably be at 4 here, but we'll see how this goes off. So we do use Boom Boom to break a tough right here. And then he does get a bomb counter, which I don't know if I actually detonate or not. I don't know the ruling on this. This is another thing where as I was playing, I didn't think it was right to interrupt the flow of kind of like the game. I'm like, okay, so I'm just looking at, oh, please tell me I airwalked. No, I don't think I think I end up airwalking mutants at the mall here. If I did it on Night of the Sentinels, it would have been so good. Um, Man, this might end up mattering because what I could say is Boom Boom could have maybe thwarted for one, but let's see how this turn plays out. But again, it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and exhaust and do a Shadowcat surprise, it looks like. So we're thwarting for 2. Let's see if it matters. So I'm exhausting to do something here. I don't actually know. So we're throwing for 2 alpha mutants at the mall. Then we're doing Shadowcat surprise here to deal 3 damage. Do I end up taking the retaliate? I don't think I do either. That's also pretty important here. No, I do. Okay. So I do that. Oh, no, I remembered. Okay. The invasive guy I actually did remember. Oh, that's great. Yeah, because I remember because I'm like, oh, I have to take a retaliate. And oh, he had 1 extra scheme. Great. I covered it. There's so much stuff going on in a Marvel Champions game. You can't really expect everyone to play a perfect game or whatnot. So what I do is I thwart 2 more here and get rid of this, get Jubilee into play. And now I'm searching for a minion and revealing it. I just want to find one that isn't too bad. I'm like, okay, these guys don't have any one revealed abilities. I think I can deal with this guy. So that's basically the reason I bring him out. I think Jubilee has to end up thwarting here, which is really rough, but that it is what it is. I spend 3 for a phase strike. I just want to knock out the Sentinel here just to get me into phase form, and Jubilee is going to keep the threat in check by thwarting it for 1, and then we're back up. I get an extra encounter card here, and this is where the game gets a bit rough. I don't know do I ever detonate this bomb token? I don't know if it detonates anyways. I'm assuming it does, but I think we had more than enough damage at the end of the game regardless. Spoilers, obviously would be commentating a win, that I don't think it mattered. So we're defending here. He had 3, and then I forgot I decked out, so that would be my encounter card. So if target for elimination is attached to an identity, you get as a face down. It isn't, so I take 3 damage, but since I'm phase and I defended, I take none. Then we have mutant detected. So I think the when reveal on this one is you place a card underneath Operation Zero Tolerance, which would instantly lose us the game, or the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So I just had to take the damage there. I forgot to switch back over to solid form, but I think I remembered. Yeah, okay, I did. I take 3 damage there. A 0 boost, really lucky. Worked out really well for us. And then we hit Relentless Robots here, which is, ooh, this is rough. So it comes in with 3 per player threat, but I always have to keep the main in check. Look at the main. It goes up to 5. We instantly lose the game. We have 3 cards tucked underneath Operation Zero Tolerance. If it gets to 4, we instantly lose. So I'm like, man, I'm looking at my hand here, even though there's not really good view on it. I didn't have enough thwart to do enough to lower the main by 1 and also clear off the side scheme. So I end up dealing 3 damage, take a retaliate, just so that I can end up readying up here. Because I'm like, I need to do some thwarting, and I think I do it 2 off the main and then 1 off Relentless Robots. Because I'm like, initially I was like, I need to clear Relentless Robots, but I'm like, no, I can't. So I have to do, yeah, so it should be 2 and 2. And then I'm looking at my hand, and this is the hand that was really awkward. I had a What Doesn't Kill Me in hand, which would have been so good. I could have readied up, also cleared Relentless Robots, didn't have to take the extra encounter card. I didn't have the physical in hand, or the physical I did have was Shadowcat surprise, which I needed anyways. So I just had no way to get 2 readies this turn in order to clear it. So I'm like, okay, we'll do a haymaker, we'll take a retaliate, we'll flip to phase, and I'm looking at the cards in my hand. I'm like, I don't really care about these cards. I think I discard that upgrade, and then I keep the What Doesn't Kill Me just in case we can play it. So now we're looking at this. This goes up by 1 threat. Okay, it's in a manageable state. It's at 3. We're in our phase form. Really good rip off the top for a quick shift here. We get to draw 2 cards and declare a defender. So he hits us for 3 damage, but we take none because we're phase and the defender. We flip to solid, 2 encounter cards. The first one was Sentinel Mark II, which is if Operation Zero Tolerance is in play, it surges. So we're going to surge into, we finally got targeted for elimination on our identity. What this card says, if we're engaged with a Sentinel, I don't know if it's enemy or minion, one of the 2, you can't go from hero to alter ego. Spoiler alert, I don't think we ever flip back down a single time this game. So it was basically a free encounter card for us. And then really rough, we hit a master plan here, which, you know, puts 4th threat on Operation Zero Tolerance, which doesn't matter. But 6 on Relentless Robots, man, we got a lot we got to take care of. Let's see how we go ahead and handle this. I'm actually reviewing this. I thought I would have made a ton more mistakes at this point. Maybe you guys even watching it back, you're noticing mistakes. I didn't, but for the most part, I think we're fine. I'm like, okay, we have an airwalk. We can do this. How are we doing this? I think what I do is I do I ready up off of What Doesn't Kill Me so I can heal. and then I have to get into phase somehow, which is really tough here. So I'm not sure what I'm doing here. What did I do? Oh no, I was readied still, right? What's going on? How did I kill? Oh yeah, okay. I was still ready. I was seeing where my basic activation went. Okay, I was confused for like a bit of a second there. Yeah, I was really I was like, what do I use my activation on? I was going through the lines. I have a what doesn't kill me and an airwalk. So I'm like, okay, what am I activating against? And I'm like, I need to get into phase so I can airwalk for 4, so then I can ready up off of what doesn't kill me, do 6 threat off of relentless robots. The main still isn't popping because it's 3 to 4. We don't have an acceleration anymore. So I'm like, okay, we have to knock out the Sentinel because we did an attack. We can flip over to phase form. Now that we're phased, we can thwart for 4. With airwalk, which is really good. Bring that down to 2. Then we have to spend a what doesn't kill me to ready us up and heal for 2 health, which is really good here. And we can throw for 2 more. Okay, cool. We're done getting double encounter cards. That's cleared. And then I think we exhaust Jubilee here to just deal 2 damage by spending a lightning. Really good way to exhaust and get some more damage on the board, down to 11. We never blew up this bomb counter, by the way. I don't know if it would have made a difference, and I missed lethal. I don't know if it even exploded, so I guess maybe it's for the best that I never did. We're choosing to defend here. That was 5 damage coming our way. How did we ready up? Wait, what happened? I'm looking at my hand real quick. Did we ready up after we defended? Oh shoot, that's probably a big mistake here. So we got our encounter card for Sentinel Mark II coming to play with us, and then the Mark V came into play, so he instantly attacks us, and I defended for 2. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh wait, no, I remembered. Okay, I caught myself again. I was like, why am I ready? No, I took the 3 damage to the face against him because I'm in the solid form. Okay, I think we're fine. I don't know why I randomly readied there. I think I caught myself too. This is fine. Okay, yeah, I was at 5 health. I had to take 3 because I was already exhausted from the phase form. Cool. So I'm looking at my line. I'm like, can we find lethal here? Can we find lethal? Do I have enough damage? I think I have a Shadowcat surprise, so that's 3. The problem is like the retaliates. Like if I Shadowcat surprise for 3 damage, bring him down to 8. And then Jubilee could maybe drop 1 down to 6, and a phase strike for 6, but I didn't have enough resources. It's just, I was too short. I was just too short on resources here. So I'm like, man, we have to deal with the board state. This is really rough. I mean, I'm looking at the main here at 4. So we just used Jubilee. We spend the lightning resource to go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm looking at my board state. I'm like, man, this is really, really tough here. We're spending this for a Shadowcat surprise for 3 damage. We're going to go ahead and hit the Sentinel here. We have to just swing on him for 2. And then I think we decided we're going to go phase that turn, right? We're going to go phased when we swung on him for 2. We heal up for 2 health, and then we thwart for 2 off the main. Yep. There's one of these turns that's really nebulous coming up here a bit. I'm going to have to explain my thought process, but okay, we're speedrunning here. I'm in phase form. The main goes up by 1. He attacks me for base before I defend here because I was phased. I take 0 damage. Flip back to solid form. Now we've got this attachment that gives him 8 extra health, and that's so bad. So he goes up from 11 all the way up to 19. We have to spend 3 lightning bolt resources to get rid of that attachment, or we can just kill him, or if we hit a phase strike on him, which is our 3 for 6 attack event, if we're in phase form, we can remove an attachment, which is really, really good. So I'm looking at my hand right here. I have another Shadowcat surprise. That card is insanely good. It's probably the only reason we're still in this game. We got an Indomitable. I'm checking my grade for some reason. I'm not really sure, right? I guess I'm card counting what cards are left in my deck, and I'm just trying to find a way through this. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I need a Shadowcat surprise for sure. I'm going to take a retaliate from it, but we're hitting for 3, ready up, retaliate, and then I'm like, I think we have to keep thwarting the main here if I had to guess. Oh no, I hit him for 2 more. Wow, I'm just going face. And then I hit an airwalk for 4. Oh, that's super good. We completely clear the main. 1 resource here, we get down an Indomitable, and then we just ready up. I could have spent it for 2 damage for Jubilee, but I didn't think it'd be worth it. It goes up to 1. We're defending here. So that one says you are stunned, which was really bad because we had lethal in our hand, which means we have to play another turn against him. We're going to ready up Indomitable back into solid form. Under fire, we get 2 encounter cards. So lucky he gets that beam, which says his attack is piercing and ranged. Spend 3 fists to get rid of it. I think he has all 3 of his attachments on him right now, which is really rough. The good thing about the attack attachment, though, is since we're in phase every turn and we're defending, we don't take any damage from him. Abduction Protocol is kind of a breaking counter card here, and it kind of just puts me on a timer to clear it. We are playing on the razor's edge. Any advance or any scheme activation just completely cooks us here. We attack. This is the turn that's really complex here. So I'm gonna let the video play, and then we will talk about what actually happened. So I'm like, okay, I have to attack to break my stun. Let me see if I can get lethal here. Like, we need to get rid of this attachment. If I get into phased, maybe I can do it. But I'm looking at my health bar. I'm like, do we have enough health? My main question was, how does phase strike interact with the retaliate on an attachment rather than a villain? Because if the phase strike knocked out the Sentinel, we don't have to worry about retaliate because you can't get retaliated by dead enemies. But phase strike says after you know, if you're in phase and you spend this card, you remove the attachment. So like, do we deal the 6 damage? And since we deal 6 damage, I'm assuming we take the retaliate, so we'd probably end up dying. And then because his attachment wasn't removed, we don't actually win the game because he still has health left. I don't know if anyone wants to help me out with that wording, but that's essentially what I'm trying to figure out here. Like, can we find a lethal line? So I'm like, okay, we take a damage from Haymaker that switches us to phased. And my question was, if I hit him with that phase strike right there, like I looked at, if I hit him for 6 damage, that brings him down to 5 health and remove the attachment. Since it's in 2 sentences, how does that resolve? Is the attachment removed before the attack is done? Is it before the attack? Because if I hit him for that 6 and I remove the attachment, then he's already dead because he loses extra 8 health. But I take it back. I'm like, okay, I don't think I can do that. I think I give myself the health back and I give myself the stun. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can do a thwarting angle, get like abduction protocols into play. Even though this gave me a little bit of extra information, afterwards, I gave myself that health back from the retaliate. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with what doesn't kill me here. I'll roll and I'll get an ally here. And I'm looking at this and I was like, well, this doesn't really accomplish much either. I'm kind of like looking at my hand and I'm stunned. I'm like, oh no, like I can't even hit him with like a phase strike in a later turn. So I'm like, no, this doesn't work anyways. I think I end up taking it all back. So yeah, I put it all back. And I'm like, I don't really need to worry about this crisis icon. It's not the time. I get all the cards back in my hand. So yeah, I hit him for 2, I think, because I would have had to. I was ready at the start of turn with a stun status. So what I did was I attacked to break the stun. Then I would have what doesn't kill me. I was at 2 health up to 4 health. I just swung on him for 2, I think. So he should be at 9 health. I forgot to lower the other side. And then when I attacked, I switched to phased form here. And then I discarded something to do 2 more damage. So now he's at 7 health. Dealing damage on Jubilee is really clutch here. She's not taking any retaliates. I'm like, okay, finally we have 1 more turn to survive. I'm in phase form. I'm defending. The threat goes up 1 per turn for level 1. So he's at 2 threat here. He's attacking me. I'm like, okay, I'm phased. I take no damage, right? So I don't know when I'm revealing this encounter card. Oh no, sorry, I don't know why I defended. I guess I was speed running. I did a quick shift here. I'm in phase, so I draw 2 cards and I take 0 damage. Hit me for like 6 here. I get flipped back to solid, and that Sentinel Mark 5 comes out, and I'm like, no, man. Okay, this guy, if targeted for elimination, is attacks our identity, he attacks us. We do have it. He has 3 attack, but we are still ready because of that quick shift. Super clutch to find here. We would have lost this turn. Like, okay, this guy's hitting us for 3. We will basic defend for 2, and then we take 1 damage from him down to 2. I'm like, okay, I think I have the damage here. I think I just have it. Honestly, I don't think I saw any mistakes. If you guys saw one, we exhaust Jubilee here, spend this lightning bolt resource to deal 2 damage down to 5, and then there's no guard or anything on the board, so then I just spend my hand for a phase strike here and hit him for 6 damage. And oh no, I actually ready off of Shadowcat surprise, I think, or something. Or I do a haymaker and then I hit him for phase strike. No, I do a haymaker to go into phase. Then I do a phase strike to get rid of his attachment. I didn't need it anyway. He was at 5 health, and that's kind of the end of that. He had all 3 of his attachments on him. That was a crazy game. The post commentary review was also kind of crazy here. Oh, I had the kind of health bar blocked for most of the game, but I think that's okay. And now we're getting to the deck list. I go into a bit of a rant at the beginning here about how tough Sentinel is, but you can kind of see that rant when you watch me talk about the villain at the end of today's episode. This is so weird. Never done an episode like this. I hope you guys are chilling and enjoying it. We're looking here, so I'm talking about the deck list and I'm discussing Shadowcat. She honestly was, to talk briefly, she was a ton of fun. She is difficult in the sense there's a lot of sequencing you have to get correct. Obviously, you can take it back if you're playing by yourself with people who are chill and be like, oh no, I really want to end in phase form. Here's the actions I can take as long as no new information is gained. Here are the actions I can take to end in the form I want to be in. And I thought that was a really fun puzzle, and I think for the most part I got it down, which I'm glad, because I was watching a lot of videos to make sure I got it, because I thought this was a really good matchup for Shadowcat, and I thought it was really fun and thematic as well. So we're looking at this here, and I'm discussing, like, I don't know which card in Shadowcat's kit is better. Is it Shadowcat Surprise or is it Quick Shift? I still don't know. I think Shadowcat Surprise is insanely good, so I might have to give it to that one for solo specifically. Maybe in other player counts, Quick Shift would be better. I think I'm still ranting about Sentinel, which is crazy here, but we are just about at the end of this here, where you guys will get to back real-time play. Yeah, let's see. Still talking about Sentinel. Still ranting about Sentinel. This is crazy. This is crazy. I would fast forward, but I'm going to talk about the card choices here in a second. Oh, and then the two cards that got tucked, I don't think I mentioned it. I think it was Avengers Mansion and Luke Cage, which was actually pretty good for us. They were really high-costed cards we wouldn't have been able to play because it was a really high-tempo game. We had to keep the board state under control at all times, and Shadowcat was able to do it. I thought it was really impressive and really a ton of fun. We're looking at our basic things here. We have an Avengers Mansion, Helicarrier, Def Focus, and Ready to Rumble. Avenger Mansion and Helicarrier were only in there if we got a really good opening hand just to set us up for the game, because I knew we couldn't flip down. Ready to Rumble is kind of like saving a ready, like a limitless stamina, but since it's max one per player, I only put one in the deck. And Def Focus was definitely the MVP. All of her cards that are like multiple costed are superpowers, so it's a really good way to lower that cost along with your form upgrade to really play multiple cards in a turn. Haymaker, you saw me. I played it like 2 or 3 times this game. It was super clutch. Obviously, if I expanded to a bigger card pool, like I could have played like first hit or whatever in protection, that would have been better, because like we could like choose to heal or like do stuff on the enemy phase, which would have been really good. That being said, I wanted to get back to the core of Marvel Rewind, like I said, at the checkpoint, where I'm playing a lot of like core box and limiting myself to like just the big box expansions and whatnot. So Haymaker was in the deck. It came in clutch. It was really, really good and fun. If we look at the, what is it called? The allies, basic allies, we're on Professor X, Nick Fury, and Colossus. Really great allies. Colossus specifically did a ton of work at the beginning of the game. I think he swung for like 9 damage over 3 turns. Really, really great. He did awesome. And yeah, we have Nick Fury and whatnot. He's obviously, we play him, gets us a new hand if we have nothing to play. Professor X, 3 basic doubles. I was on 1 power of protection. I didn't think we had quite enough cards to warrant playing 2. If I were to go back to the deck, maybe I remove an Avengers Mansion or Helicarrier and put another power of protection, just so we have what doesn't kill me online more often, and Powerful Punch doesn't cost as much to play from hand, or any of our 3 protection allies. Polaris, Nightcrawler, and Luke Cage. Luke Cage is my favorite core box GOAT. I love him. He's a ton of damage over a lot of turns if you're able to take the tempo hit. Nightcrawler can prevent us from some damage if we have a really unlucky like exhaust or something. You spend a lightning, goes back to your hand, you take no damage. And Polaris can just give you a tough status, just really, really good. She has really good stats, good health. She's a really great protection ally. Then I get to talking about kind of the we get to talking about our event lineups. We have 3 What Doesn't Kill Me. Extremely good with Shadowcat, even though she doesn't take damage. It worked out really well because Sentinel had to retaliate. We were able to ready up, get some thwarting done specifically. She has that 2 thwart stat. Really, really good to keep the scenario in check. Powerful Punch, even though we didn't play it a lot, we played it 1 time. I think it was super critical to preventing that 5 damage from that buffed up Sentinel. Really, really scary stuff. But it was really good and really clutch to save us, and we managed to get the win in the end. And the last card we have to talk about here is Indomitable, which essentially is kind of like Ready to Rumble in here for a similar reason. When you change form with Ready to Rumble, we have a mass form, so we can ready up, get another ready. Indomitable is whenever we defend, if we don't have a quick shift or something, or like a powerful punch where we have to exhaust defend, it just gives us another ready, and it can be stacked up to 3 times. It stays on the board. Really good. I love playing this card. I think it's one of my favorite protection cards. I love Limitless Stamina. It's like a Limitless Stamina you can save and cash in whenever you want. So good, so fun. And then I think this goes to me talking on the tier list. That was the game. That's a crazy post commentary run through of the game. Apologies, I will make sure my mic is on the next time. But let me know what you guys thought about this. But as always, let's go ahead and see where Sentinel stacks up with the rest of the villains and Marvel Champions. I'll see you there. Okay, so here we are at the tier list. Now, that was probably a really interesting episode. Apologies for just the recording flubs. Just something happened. I didn't know my mic was off, but that was probably really interesting to hear a post commentary angle. If you guys are into that, let me know. Maybe we'll try doing something kind of like shifting in that way in the future if you guys are interested in more videos like that. Regardless, we are here at the villain ranking to talk about Sentinel. Now, Sentinel is tough. There's no if and or buts about it. He is a tough scenario in solo. There's a couple reasons why. He starts with 3 side schemes on the table. One of them doesn't really matter. It's Operation Zero Tolerance, so there's really no negative effects other than the lose condition, which is kind of built in inherently to this scenario. But he starts out with the Crisis Icon Abduction Protocols, and he also starts with Mutants at the Mall with an Acceleration Token. You're like, oh, okay, Acceleration Token. As long as you're keeping the threat in check, you can ignore that. That's wrong, because his main scheme says whenever any threat is placed there, if it gets to 5 per player threat, which in solo is 5, mind you, he takes the top card of your deck, puts it face out underneath Operation Zero Tolerance, and when there's, one more than the number of, 3 plus the number of players' cards underneath Operation Zero Tolerance, the game ends. It's a new lose condition. So you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Play Justice and put under surveillance. But since this threat threshold isn't printed on the card and it's in the response on the actual scheme, you can't modulate this 5 per player at all, which makes it a really, really punishing scenario in solo. You can almost not flip down at all. As you saw in the gameplay, the only reason I flipped down that game was because of the obligation, because I knew I would have no room to kind of do anything truly. It's just really, really tough. I knew that the plan was maybe I'd get 1 flip down after my initial starting an alter ego of the game, because I could take maybe 1 card underneath Operation Zero Tolerance. The problem is it goes up by 1 per turn, right? Because we're in solo. In step 1, it goes up by 1. Sentinel starts with a base scheme of 2, so we only need to hit a 1. He can only hit a 0 or a 1 boost to not thread it out, because if he hits a 2 boost, 1 plus 2 plus 2, that's 5. He instantly puts a card from your deck underneath. You saw I hit that 1 obligation in the game, which says go to alter ego, exhaust to remove it, or at the end of the turn it goes under Operation Zero Tolerance. I didn't even take the chance to flip down and remove it. The reason being was that it was such a high likelihood that he would have gotten another card underneath anyways. I didn't really need to take the tempo hit of the exhaust. Again, I said it only goes up by 1 per player, but if you're ignoring I think Mutants at the Mall, or the one with the acceleration token for multiple turns at a time, like I was while I was trying to get built out a little bit, it can cause problems for sure, because now it goes up 2 per turn. He schemes for a base of 2, so he needs to hit literally a 0 to not threat it out. If he hits anything above a 0, he threats it out. Card underneath, and that's even more pressure. You're not allowed to have that chump blocking strategy that's really strong in solo or in a lot of scenarios, because he puts a ton of pressure on you. You might think, oh, I can chump block with 1 or 2. I mean, the limit is 4, but he has a lot of encounter cards that also force cards underneath that scheme. So you really want the maximum amount of leeway you can to prevent from losing to that alternate lose condition. He also has really high stats, and I haven't even mentioned he has Steady on stage 2, which, okay, that's pretty tough. And then he gets Stalwart on stage 3. So you need a hero that can do a decent bit of thwarting, that can deal with all the minions he puts on the board, that can deal with his high attack stat, and doesn't need to flip down the entire game. That's where Shadowcat came in, and where I thought she was a really, really great fit for this scenario specifically. All that being said, where would I put Sentinel on the tier list? He starts out with a ton of pressure and tempo early with those side schemes on the board. He doesn't let you flip down, maybe the most punishing scenario in the game to flip down in solo specifically. He can probably be rushed down relatively, I won't say easily, but rush strategies are probably pretty decent against him for sure. But man, he is a tough scenario, and I think he's easily an A tier, and he gives me a lot of like Claw and like Collector 1 vibes. He's very similar to Collector 1, where you can't play really prominent strategies like chump blocking against him, because you will lose, and you will lose quickly. He forces you to play around in a way around his gimmick. He's super strong, and he's just, I don't really know what else to say. He's super strong. He forces you to build for him specifically. You need high basic defense, or you need healing in hero mode, you need thwarting, you need to do it all as always in solo, but he pushes it to the extreme, and I think he is fine right there. But let me know what you guys think about Sentinel down in the description below. That is it for this week. We move on to Master Mode, which is kind of like his creator next week, which is even more of a spicy scenario, but maybe a little bit easier because of that Magneto ally. I'm not sure if that's only in the campaign or it's in the actual scenario. I think it's built into the scenario, so we should have a little bit of leeway and wiggle room for next week. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. What you guys think of Sentinel? What you guys thought of the gameplay? If you thought the post commentary was interesting, obviously gave it my best shot there, but what can you do? that's it for this week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Goodbye.